Hi class, Mr. Andrewson from Horticulture Science here. This quick video is a review of last week's homework assignment. In week 1's homework assignment, you guys reviewed what it means to live off-grid. And while all of us teachers agreed you did a great job overall, we did see some common misconceptions in what you guys thought it meant to live off the grid. So here's a top 5 list of the misconceptions that you guys had about what it means to live off-grid. Number 1, just because you live off-grid doesn't mean you live without the internet, technology, or other modern conveniences.
Now, when we're talking about living off the grid, a couple things you guys want to take into account for is technology. The technology we're talking about was cell phones, computers, and all that stuff. Now, nowadays you can still get that access. It's not necessarily if you live off grid you won't have that available to you, because people can still have cell phones. They use solar power to power everything that they need. So you might not have internet like you had before, but you can still stay in contact with everyone. You have two-way radios, you have weather radios, so you can still stay informed on everything that's going on. Coronavirus for one. Unfortunately, we're going through this hard time of, getting adjusted to everything. So it's just been hard for everybody to get used to this, to keep the distances away from everybody.
Number 2, just because you live off-grid doesn't mean you don't pay any taxes at all.
Hello. So one of the misconceptions that we noticed that students were coming up with was that when you live off-grid, you don't have to pay taxes or purchase the land that you're living on. That is not true. You would actually get arrested for that in New Jersey. Now, some of the extremists might go out and lease land or build on land that they don't own. That is not legal, all right, especially in New Jersey. Recently, my husband and I purchased a 25-acre piece of land in Dennis Township, and we don't have a house there yet. We have a camper. So we are technically living off-grid right now because we do not have any running water or electricity. So right here I have the tax document for that property, and I just want to read to you guys a little bit what this says. So each year on that property alone, no house, no electricity, no water, we pay $2,362.93 in taxes. All right, and to break that down, county taxes are $366. School taxes, even though we don't have any children in school, we pay $1,545 a year. Municipal taxes, $296, and other, I don't know what that other is, but other is $154. So each quarter of the year, we owe $616.15 to the Township of Dennis just for owning that property. All right, so unfortunately, living off the grid doesn't come at a cost-free price. You do still have to pay for the land, and you do continue to owe taxes to your township. So just to kind of clarify some of that for you guys, hope that clears a few things up.
Number 3, just because you live off-grid doesn't mean you have to live out in the wilderness in complete isolation, far from society, and in danger. So here at the farm, we have a number of things going on that help us get really close to being completely off-grid. The one really missing piece of the puzzle is not having solar or wind-powered electricity. If we can generate our own electricity, then we can really do a lot of things. But we're right here, just a couple miles from Cape May. We're not living really out in the boonies. You can, even with the quarantine, you can hear cars on Sunset Boulevard right now. We're really not that far. We're only half a mile away from Sunset Beach. So we're still in the middle of civilization, I'd say. And that's important to note because people are doing off-grid living in suburban environments. They're doing it in even almost urban environments where they live very eco-minded lives, but they have the infrastructure and they've spent the time building that infrastructure to help get them closer to off-grid living. Number 4, just because you live off-grid doesn't mean the government can't find you and you can live in a completely lawless society.
Hey everybody, Mr. Weiss here. We talked about off-grid living. Seems like a few of you seemed like it might be a good way to evade authorities or hide from law enforcement. Probably not very true. Might get away with it for a little while, but they're going to figure you out. They'll find you. Mostly because even though if you're out of sight, you're in the wilderness, you're still going to need supplies, stuff. You're going to have to come to civilization to get that stuff. And most likely they'll track you down that way. Depends on just how wanted you are as to the effort they're going to make to get you. But eventually they will. So, no. Off-grid living is not a good way to evade the justice system. It's not going to work for you. Have a great day.
And number 5, you don't have to know everything when getting started living an off-grid lifestyle.
So natural disasters can cause you to live off the grid and you're not expecting it. So let's talk about that. And like I said, I don't really know much about living off the grid through experience. So I interviewed a friend of mine named Curtis. Well, Curtis explained that he happened to be in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria. And some of the things that he found during this time of crisis, he experienced hardship. He explained that it was really difficult because there was lack of communication, no electricity, of course. There was no water, no running water. So they found different ways and resources that they could handle it. So he tried to get food, and there was no food available. And some of the trees were taken away due to the hurricane. So Curtis was explaining to me, an individual that I interviewed who lived through Hurricane Maria. He was explaining to me that for food, they were able to go fishing. They also, for water, they were able to use the fire hydrants, water as a water source, and also the local rivers. So they would actually go wash their clothing there, wash themselves off there in the rivers. And some people actually even use the river water to bring back home with them. In order to flush their toilets, they had to pour water in their toilet bowls so that the sewage would go down. And also, because of the storm, a lot of people were fighting over food. But like I said, they went fishing and they were able to use the local vegetation that they had that was still available to them just because of the climate of Puerto Rico. They were able to keep warm.
Some of the infrastructure that we have here on the farm is our wood burning furnace. You can see, there you go, camera works bad, but you can see it chugging away now. Wood burning furnace. We have a well that pumps our own water. Of course, that pump uses electricity, so the solar panel part, that's where we are stuck with using city electricity for that still. And we have propane gas that that technically takes us off grid. And then we do have some solar hot water heaters, where basically all that is having water piped through these solar panels, and they don't generate electricity. They're just black panels that heat up the water using sun's energy. So we're really getting close to off-grid living here, but we're not out in the middle of nowhere, and people are doing this, like I said, in suburban and urban environments. So it is very possible to do it without living out in the wilderness, in that big, bad, scary outback, you know? All right.
We hope this helps clear up some of the misconceptions that you all had about what exactly off-grid living is and what it can be.